guys.
All right, here we go indeed. A lot of buzz surrounding Macaco Patino, who recently joined the vaunted Shootbox Academy in Brazil, and Kazuo Misaki, a fan favorite here, a veteran of Pancrase, Enzo.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable fighter. I've seen him fighting a few times in Pancrase. He's unbelievable. It's action from the beginning to the end. It's going to be an intense one, this one.
Going through the feeling out process as the two competitors circle each other. Macaco comes in with a good low inside kick.
Good job there by Misaki.
He's dangerous on his hands. Ricardo made my shooter for him once. It was an unbelievable fight. He didn't give up until the end. It was an unbelievable fight. It was up to the referees to decide who won. So I know this is going to be a lot of action.
They're showing each other a lot of respect here in the early going. Macaco, which means monkey in Portuguese, and doesn't want to engage in any monkey business tonight, going downstairs.
Now, one of Misaki's cornermen, Gono, told me that Misaki is really well known as a street fighter before he got involved in professional fighting.
Yeah, he's a brawler.
He's a brawler.
No brawler in Japan.
I think once they get a little more comfortable with each other here, I think we're going to see the
They're
action
going to go
really
each other, definitely. Now it's starting.
Good right hand there by Misaki.
They're exchanging shots here.
Now, Macaco is training with Shootbox now, but he has a jiu-jitsu background, so he's very good on the ground. He's only been with Shootbox 4 months. I don't know if that's long enough for him to want to continue to stand up here. Hinzo, what would you
I believe he'll fight better on the ground. He should definitely be on the ground right now. It's taking too long. Misaki, one of the problems that Misaki has, he defends very poorly takedown. So it would be a good option for Macaco to take him down.
Nice.
But that was a beautiful one.
Catches the kick as Misaki throws Macaco down.
I'm telling you guys, this is the one to watch.
Nice exchange there.
Don't blink. Here we're going to find out who has bottles to sell. So just keep your eyes on it.
A lot of people believe that Misaki may be the next Yuki Kondo. He thinks that Kondo is the only Japanese fighter currently. As we see Macaco take it to him again with combinations.
He has a lot of heart. You gotta expect if this fight goes all the way to the end, that's what you're gonna see all the way to the end.
And Macaco is opening up with kind of wide punches, throwing hooks. He's got to be careful or Misaki's going to throw something inside of those hooks.
Yeah, because those hands are coming at him straight.
Misaki feels that Kondo may be the only Japanese fighter currently who can give Vanderlei Silva a run for his money. That was supposed to be tonight's main event. That fight will be held later this year here in Pride Fighting Championships.
Now it looks like Misaki's trying to make him miss and then counter over the top.
Yes, he plays a lot of like that.
Good left hook. But wow, Misaki's got a chin.
Does he ever? Able to absorb a shot like that from the powerful Jorge Macaco Patino. We got ourselves a fight here, boys.
It's a lot of action, Macaco always when he fights. And if you like, even though he's not known to the American public, like I've been seeing him fighting in Brazil for ages, and it's always an unbelievable show.
He did make an appearance at UFC 18, defeated by the veteran Pat Miletich.
Yeah, that was a good fight too. I believe he lost a lot of weight for that fight, so he had a little trouble. Not taking anything away from Miletich, which is an unbelievable fighter.
What do you guys think has to happen here for these guys to close the gap?
Well, Macaco's trying to land that big left hook. If he can follow it with a straight right, then he may be able to do a little more damage than just the left hook. But right now he's missing some of them, and Misaki's shown that he can handle that punch.
Are you surprised that neither fighter, Henzo, has gone for a takedown attempt yet?
I'm really amazed with that. Like, Macaco should have taken the fight to the ground because the way that it is, it's 50-50. You know, it's rainmakers everywhere. Whoever lands first will be the winner of this one, if he keeps like that.
Well, Macaco's probably been doing a lot of work with Shootbox, training with Vanderlei, so he probably feels pretty comfortable.
Definitely, and you can see his
high kick by the beautiful shot attempt, goes behind. And has the waist lock. Nice takedown there, and Macaco really showing his skills now.
Unbelievable.
He's right in the back. Got the hooks in here now. Oh, nice escape by Misaki. Wow.
Like I told you guys, be ready for action.
This is a very action-packed fight.
It's going to be like this all the way to the end.
They're both very quick fighters. They both know the ground well, and they're both decent stand-up fighters, too.
Macaco in the butt scoop position now. Misaki looking to kick him in the thigh area.
Now Misaki said that he wanted to stand up in this fight, so I think we're see him just land the kicks to the legs like he's doing now until the referee steps in and stands them both up.
Misaki sports a record of 11-3-2 in pancrase competition, and so far his debut has been an impressive one here in Pride, as has the debut of Jorge Patino, two up-and-coming fighters here in Japan, Henzo.
Yeah, definitely. Even though it's their debut, like I said before, those guys are pro. You know, they're up there.
Nice up
They're a
kick.
tough fight for anyone. If Misaki keeps bringing his head down, he's in danger to be knocked out by Macaco with a kick coming from the bottom.
I think you're going to see the referee stop.
That's it. That was a beautiful kick.
Good call, Hazel.
I'm telling you, his head is too low, so you can't stop that.
But as Matt mentioned, Misaki definitely able to absorb those thunderous blows, whether from the hands or feet of Macaco thus far.
They brought them up. Here we go again.
Right hand connects.
Now Macaco's really coming forward with strong punches while Misaki's backing up. That's going to be a benefit on the judges' cards for Macaco.
Definitely. Macaco's winning up to now. The fight is going towards him. Macaco had a recent fight in the jungle in Brazil, in the Amazon, and he knocked out Jacaré, which is a very, very tough opponent. A guy who wasn't losing for ages, and he was able to knock him out in the first round.
That's a big win. I remember Jacaré in Sao Paulo.
Unbelievable guy in the Abu Dhabi competition. Yes. So his debut, a no-lose fight, he fought Macaco and he was knocked out by him.
Wow, that's impressive.
Macaco feels he's undergone a catharsis since he hooked up with the Shootbox team. Loves the family environment and all the tremendous fighters. And right now, oh, he gets tagged there by Misaki.
That's what I'm saying. You can't keep exchanging. You're giving the chance to bad luck. It's about who lands first.
That short right hand when he missed, that's what Misaki's been looking for through the whole
Yes,
fight.
it's like, let's go 50-50.
So what are you saying, Henzo? Are you employing the likes of Macaco to perhaps try a takedown attempt here?
Definitely, he should have been posing this fight to the ground. Oh, that was a beautiful punch. But you have to understand, this Japanese has a tough jaw.
Very tough shot. He's taking some shots that
You
would
see
have
that he
put
leaves his
anybody else
face
down.
open, just expecting to land his. He not even brings his guard up, if you realize. His whole goal is to land his punch. Look.
And they're exchanging some
Look.
both fighters.
Great action here. Those are strong combinations from both fighters. The conditioning by both fighters is great too. They're swinging from the bleachers. They're swinging from the bleachers that would tire most people out by now, but they keep going.
It makes me tired just of watching.
You know, these guys are like watching a stick of dynamite that's just been lit. It could explode at any time.
Definitely.
Nice shot there by Misaki, and now they exchange blows in the corner. A nice left hand scores by Macaco.
This is great action.
That's hell in a can, my friends. Live from the Yokohama Arena, Tokyo, Japan, guys. It couldn't be better, and I have the best seat in the house with the guys here, right next to the ring.
Of course, Henzo Gracie, the leader of Team Gracie, the feature coming up later tonight, the best of 3 series between Team Gracie and Team Japan, and we look forward to action like this.
Definitely. Can't wait for the time to come.
Now Macaco was winning on my judge's scorecard up until that right hand landed and dropped him. But
That's the thing. Even though Macaco landed much more punches and he was doing much better, like Misaki's punch really had an effect. It really wobbled his legs.
Are you saying that, Matt, because of the damage that Macaco's been able to inflict?
Definitely, that can impress the judges.
the damage and the effort to finish. Effort to finish is above damage, and Macaco is definitely going with the effort to finish here. He's been doing it over and over. But that shot that landed from Misaki, that short right, scores for effort to finish and damage at the same time. Right now, this fight is still very even. I had Macaco ahead up until then, and I've got the fight very even right now.
There's a shot by Macaco, but did you see Misaki just bypass it, throw him to the mat, and there's Macaco now in the butt scoop position.
It was a good takedown
Misaki's
attempt.
a tough guy. He's a tough guy. Never expect him easy. It's a dangerous opponent.
One of the lower criteria is aggressiveness, which goes to, guillotine attempt here, guillotine attempt. Got it.
Oh! Is that the bell to end the round?
That's the round. Wow.
Jorge Macaco Patino escapes the danger zone there as Kazuo Misaki with that guillotine right at the end of the round.
Good attack.
That was a great way to finish the round.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous fighter.
So,
Very dangerous.
Enzo, how did you see the round? As Matt said, a very even round, but who would you give the edge to?
Definitely, you have to understand that the referees can go towards Misaki now for the fact that his punches had the most effect. Even though Macaco was imposing the game and landing much more punches, the referees definitely can interpret towards the Japanese fella.
Now, one thing to remember is we're talking about the first round, but the judges...
And you see there, look, and you see right away the best action during the game for the fact that they replayed that one. So it's exactly the shot that we are talking about. Look, right there. So this definitely can impress the judges in terms of the result in the end.
There's the single leg takedown from the ground by Macaco, but puts himself in danger.
Misaki uses right away for the guillotine.
Misaki was smart going that there because he ended the round right there with an effort to finish.
So that would give him the round, or?
No, now you have to remember that this is not scored by the round. We're talking about who won the first round here, but the judges don't have a first round. They only have one fight to judge.
And that's what happens in Pride. It's judged over the duration of the fight.
And thank God I'm here as commentator, not as a referee to choose the champion on this one.
And I think even Matt
it's going to be a tough one.
I think Matt tonight is happy to
I'm
be
glad
with
I'm
us
sitting here
instead
too.
of the judges.
That's the whole game. Much better sit here. Here we go again, guys.
We hope to see the action.
And just open the action can again. It's good to see those guys well rested and back at each other.
And that definitely was a part of the first round, wasn't it? None of them really expending unnecessary energy, taking their time, very methodical in their attacks.
And really looking to finish, really looking for a knockout or to finishing the fight. So every action they had was very intense. I'm 100% sure that we're going to have that on the next 5 minutes.
Oh, good right hand. He timed that right hand again. When he went with that wide hook, he timed the right hand and put it on the chin.
Beautiful. Macaco went down a little bit for a second, but he's recovering now, putting back in the guard.
Now Misaki should try to underhook instead of overhook.
Definitely. He was a little naive there and allowed him to put him back in guard, giving him time to recover.
Now, he's got a guillotine there, but Enzo, is that close to finishing?
I don't believe it's right. It's out.
Head's out.
Yeah, it was out of angle. It would be very hard to finish there.
Now some great action from the
only problem, now he's feeling the dizziness from the punches and that he received. Yes, he's lightheadedness now.
Looks like he's a little more flat on his back here in the guard and not moving as much.
And he's showing a little tiredness, I believe, from the effect of the punches.
Now back into the full guard of Macaco, high guard there, but look at Misaki, perpetual motion on the ground.
He never stops. It's like action is his middle name, man. Every time I saw him fight, it was like this. Look.
Big punch.
Right.
It's like it's not an easy guy to fight. Tough guy Macaco picked to fight on the first match that he did on Pride.
And it's definitely been
a show for us.
For sure.
It's been a great
It's like
fight.
an unbelievable. That's what we're talking about.
This is what Pride's about. These guys came to fight.
Electrifying action and another right hand scores. It's real fights with real athletes as only Pride Fighting Championships can deliver. These two fighters making their debut, a memorable one, here at Bushido 3.
We're going to be talking about this fight for time to come. Look, that was unbelievable try. Well defended by Misaki, and he's out of there.
It's been unbelievable. The submission attempts, the attempts to finish, and just the intestinal fortitude and the strength of both of these fighters. Nice kick by Misaki.
The most amazing about Misaki is that he seems to recover and grow into the fight.
His conditioning.
As the fight goes, he gets better and better and better. And he's able to impose more his game now. On the beginning, we saw Macaco attacking for the whole time and looking for the fight all the time. Now we see the other way around.
Now, Enzo, with Macaco on his back here trying to go for submissions, does the sweat play a big part here?
Definitely. It's very slippery right now. So if you realize the punches are getting in, the kicks are getting in. So Macaco's in a very tough situation right now.
Aggression is Misaki's middle name, and really measuring up Macaco now from chop with those right hands.
Now you're seeing Misaki play a little strategy here. He's going to start to pass the ankles, then he's going to throw the punch while Macaco's thinking about recovering the guard.
Definitely.
Good move by Misaki and a good point brought up by Matt Hume.
if the fight keeps that way, definitely is going to go towards Misaki.
I think at this point, I think Misaki has now pulled ahead.
Well, he's dominating the second round, and really it's how you finish the fight, as Matt Hume will tell you.
Well, it's actually how you play through the whole fight. They're going to tally up everything. Like I said, they've got their stopwatches running. They've tallied everything these guys have done through every second of this fight and taken notes. And they're going to look at this entire fight.
But who is dominating in the last round usually has a better opportunity to emerge victorious, isn't that true?
No, it's not true. Whoever made more of an effort to finish and whoever did more damage in the fight, those are the top two criteria. Then they're going to move on to standing combinations, ground combinations, positioning. They've got a whole list of things, aggressiveness. They're going to consider everything. So the rounds really play no part.
The best thing of all is that this fight only finishes when the time is over or someone was submitted or knocked out. So we still have a lot of action to watch. Don't blink, guys. You guys
Down now by Misaki. Oh, that kick rocks the head of Patino. And unbelievable, the recovery of Macaco Patino. That would have knocked the lesser fighter out.
Definitely. The difference, I think, right here is they're both very, very tough guys, but Misaki has recovered a little bit better from the damage that he took, and Macaco has slowed down a little bit.
Macaco now is trying to expose his back to see if he's able to invert and get the top position. But Misaki was very well placed there.
He's unable to.
Good hip work by both.
Choke, and there's another nice knee by Misaki coming up.
Now that was a strategy then by Macaco, right?
Definitely. He was trying to give his back to see if he was able to get the top position.
And this fight is over, and what a tremendous battle.
Incredible fight.
That was a battle.
And the fans saluting both of these warriors. That's what Bushido is all about, the way of the warrior. And you will not find two greater warriors on this night than Kazuo Misaki and Jorge Macaco Patino. And guys, a tremendous debut here in Pride for both fighters.
Incredible. I can't wait to see both of these guys fight again, even to fight each other.
That was unbelievable.
Great right hand there. Macaco very tough. A knee.
He placed it in the guard at the right time. The knees were coming in.
I thought that was it.
Yes. I believe that kick gave the definition of the fight. They have to go with Misaki.
It was the exclamation point for sure. And
if they had any doubt before that, I believe it's over.
I agree. I tend to agree with you, although very, very tough to adjudicate. Perhaps, Matt, who would you go with?
During the time period, they both worked very well. I think we're going to see Misaki get it on the accumulation of damage.
Misaki. Judge Misaki.
Yeah, Misaki got the win.